We have had a beautiful day in the garden. We had our first ever public open garden today. And wow, we had over 350 people come through our backyard.
We were so surprised since we have 260 square meters, so we were not sure how many people would come, but we were having a lot of people from 10 in the morning to late afternoon at 3 o'clock.
Exactly, super blessed. Lars is a part of the Garden Association here in Denmark, and this weekend they sponsored open gardens all over the country. So members of the association opened their gardens on Saturday and Sunday to the public. And yeah, wow, so blessed that we could have so many new garden friends come through and look at what we've got growing. But we figured this afternoon or this late evening, since you at home were unable to come, we thought we would take you on a garden tour and show you what's growing here and the end of August.
And let's show right here this first one, really tall. It's called Hjortetrøst, and it's actually just starting to flower now. Doesn't need any staking here, and you just missed the bees, but they are really starting to love this, and it's just, isn't it pretty?
Yeah, the bee just flew off before I started talking. Lars was like, talk faster, faster. But the intro needs time.
Right, so, but maybe let's take them over here, and we can show them what a lot of people came and were surprised about, that we have so many things, perennials still flowering here now we're almost end of August. And what we told them, deadheading, really important to deadhead those flowers that's in perennials, that's finished also in annuals in general. But here the higher nib, for example, has this really, it's closing up for the evening now. It's 6:30 at night and it's closing up, but these ones are finished. So I do deadhead the ones that will become seeds, because once it has these ones, it's telling the plant is like, oh, I'm ready to have babies. So these ones I'll keep deadheading, removing these once a week or whenever you can, deadheading all these ones, and it will just produce even more flowers. And it also, if you don't want that the perennial will self-sow in the garden, do remove them, because they will be everywhere. Some of them are really hard self-sowing plants here.
Yeah, here's another really easy one that we've kept flowering for longer.
Yes. The Scabiosa over here, really pretty. Some of it is like, when it starts to wither away, I don't know if you can show over here, I run all the way down to the stem of the flower and then pinch it off all the way down when it starts to look a little bit sad, and then it has a bunch of these are the new buds coming over here.
Yes, we've really kept that one flowering. So enough about deadheading, let's keep up with the tour. What's next?
Actually, I wonder if we're lucky, there's a bunch of bees in one of my really favorites over here, the Agastache here. It's called Blue Fortune, and it literally, not a lie, it has flowered for months actually now, and the bees are still going, I can see here. And it really has like the foliage here. A lot of people, you can dry it and use it for tea. It really has this liquidy smell to it, and it's about to be finished, but it's really stunning. And against this light here, I hope you can see it, but it's really stunning. And
yeah, this late afternoon, early evening light
really
is really pretty.
And this one can be propagated by seeds, or like doing cutting of these fresh shoots down here. It's definitely one of my new favorites in the garden.
We also have some Echinacea that are still coming in.
And these are sown from seeds, and they are just really getting spiky, but the bees really love them and visit them a lot. The Blair Spire over here just keeps going, getting really taller. We're letting it having around this height, but you can also prune it if you want. It has these white flowers in earlier in the summer or in the spring, and then it has some red berries, and I love the dark foliage it has.
Because this whole middle flower bed, that's a good point. This whole middle flower bed, someone asked just today in the comments, how old is this garden? Yeah. We moved in 2018. I'll write you back in the comments, but a lot of things have changed. This flower bed, though, it's only its second summer.
We started turning the turf here. We had all lawn in all this area. Just in February 23, we started turning the turf, leaving it for some weeks. And then we started planting plants that we had in the greenhouse, planting it out here. So it's only the second season, and it has really done a great job.
So that's what I was getting to with this bush. We have to figure out how tall we want it, and really what we want to do with it. So what's next?
So
Where are you taking us next,
Let's
Lars?
take another one next to it. Here is also just started flowering now. It's great having these late flowering, but drejeblomst.
Oh, that's
And
really
drejeblomst in Danish, it's because it's like turning flower. It like kind of turns against the sun, so it's reaching for those sunlight, and that's really also a really pretty. Can easily be grown from seed as well, and also has underground roots like side shoots coming. And you can have them in this tall variety or also lower white ones. That's quite pretty as well. We have also the spydverbenia is actually also a tall one. A lot of people comment on that. And like the other verbenas, it's really self-sowing a lot, but also has these beautiful flowers here, spikes almost, and the bees are very into those two. Oh, there he goes.
A lot of our grasses are starting to come in now.
We still have
a lot
these
more
ones
obvious.
about to be finished, but they have flowered
Sorry,
for
I just
months.
talked about the grass.
Oh, sorry,
You
the
see
grass
how he
was-
doesn't even listen to me. So now we'll go to Lars.
I'm like a kid, like I see a lollipop, I'm like, yay, can I have that one or a toy? But look at the hard soul hat here, the heater, the autumn colors, and the cappuccino.
Yeah, and
Really
we
nice
showed
mix.
these already in July, and
Yeah.
they're still looking really good.
And our Staude Salvia, the Caradonna, is still, now it's actually starting to be finished. And this is the second set of flowering it had. We just pinched off the first when it finished. We ran all the way down where the finished flower was and pinched it off just like that. And then it produced new ones. And there's actually sitting, if you want to collect seeds, I don't really have my seed glasses on here, then inside, I don't know if they're ready. But inside are not yet, but they're starting to produce these black seeds, and then you can make more ones of these really pretty. Staude Salvia is really great for bees. It's really a bee magnet. So if you're looking for bees or like perennials for bees, have this one. Because you even see in here, it keeps having new buds coming here. So do not cut it all the way down, just remove the dead, the withered flower here. We have lupins that's still flowering here, and all our perennial grasses are just coming up here. But look at this white still coming.
That's really nice. Our salmon star, we had to cut it down. It was finished.
Yeah, and it's actually a variety that's sterile, but what you can do some cuttings of it. Not sure I can find one that's ready here, but what I do, I take a side shoot. Maybe I can find one here. A side shoot that grows on one of the stems from the side, and then it's like a little ball here, and then you can make cuttings and remove some of the foliage here. Just have a little bit, place this in a pot over winter, and then it will produce shoots like roots here, and then you can plant it out, and it will get a true copy of the mother plant. So that's a good one too, if you want to have more lupins.
The Salvia virida, look at that, it's coming in. And this,
Look at that.
yeah, we didn't plant, we sowed it, of course, ourselves last year. It is an annual here. And then this one, yeah, she just grew back by herself. Sowed all her seeds.
It
and
was
look
a
at
little
that.
bit
It was a lot bigger last
like
year.
wider here in size, but it also gets bushy if it's finished, it flowers, and then you actually remove the flower, the finished flower here, and then it will come with more.
Because it's actually the bracts that you're looking at, and then the flower is under there. So there's the little flower, yeah. And then it's the bracts that are giving you all that beautiful color.
Actually, last year we only had the pink Sunday, but then this year we also added a little bit more of the white variety, and then the Oxford blue here. But the one our favorite is the pink one. It has goes from different shades, like this really strong pink to this much lighter pink over here.
As it fades, yeah, really pretty.
So speaking of lupins, here we have, oh, and a bee is super busy in those. We have some that's still flowering here, and that's because we had some bare root perennials like lupins that from a cooperation with a Danish company here on an island called Bornholm, and they have a bunch of bare roots. So you actually, like the dahlia, you get the bare root lupin home, you babysit it, take care of it, and place it in a pot, keep it watered, and then once it has foliage and good roots, you plant it out. And that's why we have lupins flowering now. Normally here in Denmark they flower in the beginning of summer, like before even May, June. But these ones, because they were from a bare root, they just started flowering now, and now we're in end of August. So that's really amazing.
Yeah, that's quite amazing. And today in the tour, that was one of the things people really talked about.
So that's really, and people love that there's all these different colors now, because lupin has both the flower but also the foliage is really nice. And they're really going well here in this new established, this is only a few months old actually, so quite amazing how it's grown really lush here. And it's a mix of, also we placed, grown from seeds like zinnias here. So we have a bunch of annuals like the zinnias in a range of colors actually. And next to the calendula also, people really love today on the tour that they said. And we also again showed really important with this deadheading, so you keep a lot of flowering. So as soon as we of course will keep some for growing next year as well. We have some liatris over here that's growing nicely, and a big thing that people also talked about was the Verbena a perennial. People love this foliage. That's really being more and more in Denmark, having this great in pots as well. This is a few, maybe like 5 plants that I took from the mother plant on the path up there. That is because it's a great self-sower. Placed it there a few months ago, right before summer, and now it's just full already. And it was like a tiny, like this size. So it's really great to collect those seeds.
Free plants, that's what we like.
Yeah.
What else do we have growing?
The chocolate cosmos is still really...
I think these are in every single garden tour. They do not stop.
Really, I wish there was a smelling app, but it's really chocolatey flower. We talked about some visitors today in the garden that maybe we could try and, like since it's a summer flower, but see if it could survive in the greenhouse over winter, even if it's a unheated greenhouse. So we'll try and do that as well.
Oh, will we? Okay.
Oh, you didn't hear that, but maybe you were inside making coffee. But yeah, that's...
Somebody had to make the coffee today.
And then we have some other zinnias over here. Really some also beautiful, actually a nice mix. We like to mix and match here, these ones.
Obviously, we don't have one favorite color. All the colors.
And the Rudbeckia is really doing well here, over in this corner.
Those are also from seed. And
I know we talked about this one, and I have to mention it. A lot of conversation really topic today is this. People couldn't really recognize what is this, what kind of tree is this, but it is a eucalyptus tree that we had before we moved into the house here in November. I believe it's 6 years ago. We had it in our apartment in a windowsill, really small. I was about to toss it. It looked really sad, and you said let's put it in the greenhouse when we moved here. We did, and it just exploded in growth. We placed it out here, and actually in Danish climate, normally you don't see a eucalyptus growing like this, surviving directly. It's growing in the ground, and it's just been really crazy.
We don't know anything else about it. We literally bought it at the supermarket for whatever you buy a plant at a supermarket for, and gave up on it. It was dying, stuck it in the greenhouse and thought, well, if it survived, we really told it, if you survive, you stay. If you don't survive, you go.
But it must be, not that I'm a tree expert, but there's like this a variety that has long foliage, and then there's a more smaller oval leaves that tend to maybe not survive. But this one really, even we went 4 weeks on a long holiday, it had broken off the support beam, tilted over and grew alongside the perennials and got a bend when we moved it back up, but it's just keep on getting strong. Winter, some of the leaves turn brown, but it's just been really...
So maybe some of our Australian YouTube friends... No, or anyone, if you'll let us know. Here's the leaf. There you go.
We should almost have a koala growing here.
Yeah,
or like not growing, but
and
like
there's
eating
the bark. Okay, Lars wants to grow a koala now.
I mean,
that's the Danish public education working for you right there.
Here we go.
What else were people crazy about today?
They really they loved the Sanctansuat, the sedum, and the touchdown teak, because it's such a different variety, different color, and it's really, really, really nice.
Okay, well, let me stop you right there and come
Here
because
one of your favorites.
Can we just take a moment? This is August, but look who has decided to come back.
The Mai Tai, the Nellikerode, it's the second flower. I don't remember it had a second flowering last year. What we also talked about, this I also grow from seed, but I showed somebody today, you could easily, I don't know if you can see down here, it also grows eventually over time. It grows in width, I guess you would call it, and you could take a shovel or a spade or a little knife and cut down, and then as long as it has roots, you can divide these ones. And the other great thing is about this, it also gives a healthier perennial by dividing, not necessarily every year, but it's really good to do this division, and you don't hurt the plant. Think more about you're actually gonna make it stronger.
Exactly.
That was a little great tip there.
Thanks, Lars. That was a great tip. So rewind and listen to him, or keep watching and look. Isn't that crazy? Super surprised. We've been able to keep the Geum Scarlet Tempest because I've been deadheading it, but the Mai Tai, because Lars wanted seeds. If you know Lars, you know that he wants seeds even before the plant flowers. So yeah, I let this one go to seed really, really early, but it came back.
And another one of your, that is, remember this one you have?
I do. This was
your toad lily.
I tell it the same story every year. So if you're new to the channel, it's new to you. If you're an old friend of ours by now, you've heard me tell the story. But this was the first plant that we planted in the garden. We went to the planting center, bought the bulb of this toad lily when this garden was an absolute. When we took over the garden, that's what I shall say. That's kind. When we took over the garden and were taking everything out, basically.
Yeah. So it's coming here. Ooh,
yeah, that was the one I chose, and it keeps coming back and growing more. It gets bigger and bigger every year.
So it almost looks like a orchid.
Yes, it really does.
It's really.
Speaking of, another thing that's really pretty, there's a white sedum over there.
Yes, look at the bee there.
Where?
Oh, you can see it. Maybe.
No.
There's a bee coming. Oh, never mind.
So there's a bee. Let's keep going with the tour.
Oh, talking about bees, have you ever seen, because it's getting evening now, a bee asleep? So this bee, if you come closer here, I won't disturb it now. But in this Stauder Salvia, it's like a pink Caradonna, second flowering, but the bee Salvia. But this bee stays over here. Some bees also die, but people are, oh no, maybe I woke him up. But some of them won't fly back to the hive, I guess you call it. But then it would sometimes you will find the bee falling asleep and staying there and might continue the work tomorrow morning.
Sorry guys, I know it's really blurry. I can't get him. Can I get him?
He doesn't want to be on
No.
TV. Okay, never mind.
He's blurry.
But anyway,
we are
this is
protecting
the
his
second flowering,
identity.
and these seeds also, look at this. Oh, here I can show. Oh, I know, we get so excited about seeds. You like to deadhead and I want to collect, but see, look at all these. Where was it? Here there's all these new, see, all these new seeds that I can start growing and get more of this Stauder Salvia.
2 seconds. Let me stop and try to refocus. 1 second.
Okay. Okay, so in here the seeds are just all black. Look at them all falling out here.
There you go.
And many more new ones.
There's more pink Caradonna, and there's that bee. Maybe I can try now if I go really slow. No, his identity is, it's like an Unsolved Mysteries episode. Trust me,
Never
he's
mind.
there.
But he's right there. And we still have some Stork also flowering here. We have done a little, remove some of the dead flowers, and they are also really, really, really beautiful, still flowering here next to them. I have some ground cover there that had also really moved. And I took some away for the open garden today, so people could get some of these different ones home. And people really enjoyed those as well, because it's so flowers very late that people.
Yeah, and this one has 3 different colors. Basically, it goes from the light to the lighter pink. There's one right there in the middle.
Oh yeah, here.
To sort of the lighter pink, and finally to that sort of burnt burgundy. Yeah, it's really pretty.
So here we have the spore baldrian in white, and it has its second set of flowering time here, since we took it back when it's finished, and it has a bunch of new seeds just falling here. Great self-sower. What we did this year, we put like a little support under, because last year it really fell over and covered this Rudbeckia here, so it didn't really have a chance. It had really not a lot of flowering. But this year is coming really back and gives this pop of color. Great perennial that flowers for months on and loves this full sun, and it's just one of my big favorite compared to your toad lily. We have a Perlico here.
This one's fun. Can you hold it up to your microphone?
I can try. Really rattles.
You hear that with the church bells in the background? The bells ring every hour.
Maybe you can hear it. Okay, that's
Hope so.
weird. But great in bouquets as well, and also in dried form. It's really nice, this one.
We should see if Crane has this. Because I bet he could do. Yeah, he has everything. He could do incredible things.
I'm not good at making bouquets, so definitely we can so inspired from him.
Leave it to Crane. Our blanket flower. A lot of people have asked about this. This is its second year, and yes, it is starting to split. And what we mean by that, we've staked it up.
Yeah.
But by split, it starts to sort of break apart and divide in the middle.
So what we do, we have done a little staking with some bamboo sticks just to keep it like kind of together. And we just talk about it's actually around 2 years old now, so we might need to actually dig it up and maybe try and replant it somewhere else, because they do kind of open up in the middle.
Yeah, we've checked online because somebody asked if we could divide them, and according to blog posts, you can divide them. We've not had any luck with that because it's not the easiest. So what is easy is to collect seeds from. So
we will let it flower now and keep deadheading, but later on in the season, we start to collect some seeds, and definitely from the new peach color we have as well.
Exactly, but because this one's starting to split, it's probably its last year.
Oh, maybe we show we have a little, compared to in the beginning, we have a Eupatorium in a much lower variety that also is really pretty, almost like very dark stems, and starts to open also now. Really, really, really pretty here.
Very nice. And there's this Verbena Bampton that we were talking about.
The mother plant.
The mother.
And I actually also staked that because it kind of moved a bit out, and you could also do cuttings of this. I should have done more cuttings because people went crazy with this. I had 10 pots in from self. I have like a bunch of, like here you can see there's still babies growing here. Maybe I can show, really tiny. But you can see that they have the second set of foliage here, and it's really easy now to see, and they're getting this dark foliage, so it's easy to see that it's the Bampton here. But you can also, it starts to self-sow. I need to collect some of these seeds definitely, but we talked about maybe in autumn here in a few weeks, or in September, we're gonna, when the soil is really wet and not dry, we'll start to move and divide some of all these perennials we have. And this one we'll move in a little bit.
Because we'd love it to go here next to the Nephofia, which are finished. There's a lupin in there, but she finished. So we need something else to go in that space. While we're on this side, Lars, these are beautiful. Look at these.
Oh, the soulbrød.
Yes, this Helenium. Look at that.
That's really nice. Got a little bit taller this year. I was talking to somebody today, they have it at home, and maybe because we put ecological chicken manure out in pellet form when it was pouring rain, so they might have gotten really nutritious soil this year, because last year they were a bit smaller, not so tall, but really, really pretty with this kind of the different shades they get, even the beginning and then ending up even there is really nice here.
Oh, and now that the sun's out from behind the clouds hitting it, that's really, really pretty.
So another one people really love today is this butterfly candy, like a dwarf butterfly, because the normal ones get super tall and ours broke also in a storm. So this is very compact. People really love this pink color. We have it also in a like a light purple one, great in pots as well. And what we did, what people are really surprised, I should have taken a before and after picture, but we have the main stem here and we actually pruned it all the way back, and it has really grown really nicely in here. From the main stem we pruned it really hard back, so it's grown this, but then it kept this kind of height. So it really still nice here in front of the hydrangea we have in the back, and just a great color as well. great for the insects. And all the cutting, remember that I don't just toss it out because it's great to do cuttings of. Maybe we show them the Hyssop anemone here, that also another great one.
So pretty, so Danish. You find this in every garden here in Denmark, but look at that.
Both the white one and then there's also some more pinkish in the back.
Very nice. Our new panicle hydrangeas are in. I'll link to that video if you're interested how we got those in. Where are we headed next, Lars?
This is the new established, like the middle flower bed where we had the trampoline. That's also really crazy how the Vild Gulerod here, the Dara summer flower, but great in bouquets. And
I'm coming, sorry, I have to go slowly, otherwise I'll make everybody
and
dizzy.
That's really
back.
That's just really pretty as well. Because it grows wild in Denmark out here, the Vild Gulerod in white, but this is quite a stunning color as well. All the Echinaceas are really nice here. And maybe we do have to show them the peach color over here, the blanket flower. Look at this, grown from seed. I think it's still, I can say it every day, it's so amazing.
Yes, but if you walked around and told us everything that you've grown from seed, Lars, this whole garden is grown from seeds and cuttings.
But look at that color though.
But you can also see the difference in this is its first year, and you notice that the middle is really nice and tight.
Yeah.
It has not split. And that's sort of the problem. After a couple of years of this blanket flower coming back, it breaks in the middle or splits. I'm not sure what the right word is, but that's when you know it's pretty much time to go.
Just have to show them look at the snapdragons here. Keep on, there's just more coming. A mix we placed here, we had sown from seeds. Oh, look at that.
Very pretty.
Really nice. Maybe we take them over here to the dahlias, and the Sankesorba here is still, look at those puffs here, just like.
Let me come to this one
really
first.
Nice. That's really
very nice. And now, ta-da!
All our dahlias, look at that. They are doing really nice. A lot of people in Denmark have really issues with the snails this year because it's really been a wet summer. So that was a big topic today we talked about. And we do have a snail, what do you call them?
A snail frame.
Snail frame, like around, and also copper tape. So really it does here. It minimizes snails in our dahlias. We maybe have had 2. So it really worked here for sure.
Well, what's also worked is every morning and every evening, especially when it's wet or cool, you and I, mornings it's you. Let's just be honest, because somebody has to make the coffee, but we're out here checking.
Yeah.
So we have sort of a few trouble spots that we always go and check, and this is one of them. So that does matter too. Maybe they all heard, hey, don't hang out in there because those 2 guys will check and then remove you. Yeah. So who knows if it's just because they got scared, but it has made a difference.
And another thing that really worked well this year, we had bamboo sticks last year, but we have netting over here. 10 centimeters times 10 centimeters comes in a roll, you can reuse it. And we have these posts, metal posts, and then just a zip tie, and then you can move it up if it's too low. But we placed this over right when we planted the dahlias out, and it has really kept the dahlias. Last year we had a few dahlias that simply just fell over, and it's just frustrating after you have
because they take so long
grown
to
it
come up,
from a seed. Oh no, not a seed. I always get some confused.
A tuber.
A tuber, yeah.
And then a fun one.
But there's really just, they are so nice. What we see in these ones are that the bees, if you want to have more bees in your dahlias, you have to have these anemone ones, like the more simple ones. These get really well visited by the bees. And these ones over here as well, actually. The bees really love these ones.
Another thing that we do, if we are not dahlia experts, there are people like Danielle, I can name all the people. North Lawn Flower Farm, she's fantastic. Crane as well. But one thing that we do is we remove, can I get down here?
Do.
What we do is we remove sort of the bottom level of the foliage. So maybe not that one, Lars, but okay,
but
that
maybe
one.
down here. But
because then it gets more air circulating up and under there.
Yeah.
And that keeps everything from being so humid. We've had a lot of rain, Denmark's actually quite humid. It's not what you would think of when you think of Denmark, but it's quite a humid, wet country. And so removing that bottom sort of layer or level of leaves keeps air circulating in and around and keeps everything nice and fresh.
Oh, and can we just show this one? A
Sure.
Solbrød, another variety, low one, but look at this color. I really, really love it.
That's very nice.
That's nice, right? And the Steenbak is actually out too. That has flowered early on, but it's actually having a second. Great for shady area too with these. Also actually call it elephantører, like elephant ears.
Kind of scary to me. It's like when you see a hellebores in flower, you just think of the winter. I don't want the winter. Our days are starting to get really short.
Yeah,
We can really feel it, can't we, Lars?
we can. Maybe we take them, talking about winter before we forget, but show them in the greenhouse what's growing there, even though it's getting to be autumn soon.
Let's show them.
Okay.
So here's the greenhouse. You wouldn't know it. Actually, let me show the emptiness. I think it was empty in our last garden tour, or last time we showed the greenhouse, it was empty, and I remember being quite proud. Since then, this wonderful man that I know has filled it full of cuttings and some seedlings that we have grown. But they're all gone again. All of our friends that came to visit today took a bunch of things home with them, so we're very thankful for that.
We luckily have a few left. What we tried to do, that was also, I think, your great idea. Instead of that I have to replant some that I have, for example, from a tray here, if you have the Sweet Williams here, that needs to be repotted from a tray here with holes in, then go ahead and just add some seeds in one of these bigger pots and then leave them in here until they can be having maybe second or third set of leaves, and then plant them directly out. So we actually save a step by not having to repot.
Yes,
great.
I don't think that's so groundbreaking, but
We invented the wheel.
It's groundbreaking for Lars because he would sow 12 of these little dishes.
But in my defense,
no, I'm not. It's rude to interrupt.
Oh,
so you would
goodness.
sow. Let's say, what is this?
This is
I would say
digitales.
you would sow these foxgloves. You'd sow 10 trays of them, and then you would have to pot them on into other pots. And we ended up last year. Oh, I'm not finished. We
go.
winter sowed 60 different plants like this. So that may sound cute, but do you know how many flowers are in each of these? And that means we have to then pot them on into smaller pots.
But in my defense,
What
here
we're
we
doing
go.
now is we're skipping that step, and then we're only going here, and then we're minimizing how many seeds we sow, right, Lars? That way, we can enjoy.
and there's a lot of people
the
sitting out
spring.
there nodding and agreeing, yes. But in my defense, for example, this Jakobstige, a lot of perennials can be sown as a group. So in my defense, if you even had Sweet Williams, you could easily, quickly take a group and then move out quickly. I know digitales need to be sown in one plant a tray, but a lot of perennials, they don't mind being in a bigger group.
Yes, no, but I think quickly was the part that never happened. Nothing happened quickly.
No, I know I had I will not do as many perennials. Now we have our witness. I won't sow that many for this coming next season, for next year, 2025. But where did I take these? I'll put them up here. But just to see, like, this is hollyhocks, where I sowed like a few together. And this is just collected a few weeks ago. And then you can go ahead and sow them right away, because then they are bigger and I can plant them out along. I want a bunch of different colors, that's the goal, at the black fence to give really that cottage garden look with yellows, pinks and purples and you name it, white ones.
Exactly, and this was just a few weeks ago.
And they are
I
really
need
coming.
to put the date, but yeah.
Oh, I forgot the date now, I think. Oh yeah, 29th of July.
Okay, so this was just about 2.5 weeks ago that we sowed those, and then they're already about ready to turn.
And
When will, for
Williams,
those
did we-
watching, Lars, when will you move them out?
Actually, you could do it now. It has a second set of leaves, but I will go ahead and leave it a little bit more, or until they actually start. A sign also is if it starts to have a lot of roots showing here, then it's a sign it can actually.
Okay, and second set of leaves, let's point to that and show.
So that's the first set is here, and then this one is actually the second set of leaves.
So then once more, so the first set is exactly
like these two
those two will
sides.
be first, and the second set, in this case, it's the second one. But once it gets that, then it's ready to plant. So that's really good to know.
And in that way also, just if you you could also sow them directly, but I would suggest having either a label if you sow them directly in the garden. A lot of people have told me I don't have the time to repot, I don't have a greenhouse. Fine, you can sow them directly in the ground, but I suggest you put a little label on in the area, because I know from experience, if you sow directly, come spring, you will just hoe around the area, you think it will be weeds. You cannot see the difference between weeds and a baby seedling from a perennial. Because look at this, this is also hollyhocks, the first set of leaves. Now I know, if you have tried a few years in a row, you kind of quickly know when is the second, or before the second set of leaves, you will know this is a hollyhock. But some of them do look like weeds. For example, this one I just showed now, you can...
Some of them. All of them look like weeds.
No, but see, for example, the Jakobstie, it's starting to have, if it has this, imagine, looks like a weed. As soon as it has this in the middle, the second set of leaves, looks like these little, it's called stairways to heaven in English. So you can also see it looks like this little cute little ladder. So you can quickly
That's true.
recognize
Show that again.
them.
Just show the first set again, nice and slow.
So the first set is here.
Would just be these two. So that would be the first set.
Yeah.
And then when he says the second set, it means that little.
It's these ones coming here. There's coming another one. Yeah. And then normally, typical, when it has the second set of leaves, you will start to see it look like a mother plant.
Yeah. Especially this one is called Stairways to Heaven.
Yes.
And it does look like a small little ladder.
Yeah.
Or in Danish, it's even called Jacob's Ladder. Maybe that's what it's called in English.
We have some sporeballen also sown on 29th of July. Doesn't have the second set of leaves yet, but can also be grown in a set. And waiting for those second set of leaves. They are actually already showing roots. So
let me see that. I didn't get one.
They have some white roots coming here.
It's because you mention this quite often. You say when the roots come out and second set of leaves. Yeah. So roots coming out are literally when the roots start to grow.
Start to show. That's a great indicator that, okay, maybe it has the second set or the third set of leaves here. The foliage start to grow, and you can see white roots under. Then it's a sign, okay, I can start to repot it or place it out in the garden. But these ones definitely need to be a little bit bigger. If you have issues with snails, they love little baby perennials. I would suggest not to plant them out now. Let them grow even bigger. We have some delphiniums here that was in a bad spot out in the garden. So they are not growing out yet, but they look a little bit sad. Has new foliage here, but I'll leave them getting a little bit bigger. Called Summer Skies, nice blue color, and I want them to grow bigger before I place them out, and I do not want any snails chewing on this new foliage.
Fantastic. And if you're wondering what this this is a paste that we've put on because when it's sunny here in Denmark, it gets really all too hot in here. So this is a paste. The sun comes from the beach on that side, and then over and then sets. So yeah, this has kept it a bit cooler in here. So that's why it looked really bad behind you, like it was snowing. And the grapes
is doing well here.
Ta-da.
That's also nice and shady, but it's not grown so long over here. So Malachi has been out eating them a bit there.
Oh, they're no sour. Okay, they'll come. Yeah. But that'll be nice.
Actually, I just want to show one last piece here. So we have a great tip to save a little bit of money. When you have your summer flowers, this is a bitterrod that flowers in summer, does not survive the frost. But what we did last year, instead of running out buying new and just tossing it, this is then the second flower season. So the year before, in 23, in autumn, I placed this one in its unheated greenhouse, but it actually didn't get so cold. And what I did, I tilted the pot like this, so it doesn't get too wet over winter. Didn't water it actually at all, and then it came back last spring.
This spring it came back this spring. So we're going to do that again and see how it will survive. And it did get really cold in here. If you remember, Lars, this was the winter that we had the storm. We lost the glass. It flooded. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff, so this guy survived.
So this is what I want to try with the chocolate cosmos. And if you don't have a greenhouse, you could take it in if you have a room that's maybe cooler, or if you have a workshed. We also have a workshed with a window. You could even try it there to save. A lot of people do that with the pelargonia or whatever. They have summer flowers in pots just so that you can reuse it, so it's not every year you have to do a cutting of it. That would take out less space as well. You could put some cuttings of your favorite summer flowers and see if they could survive the winter as well.
Yeah. So let's see how that one works.
Yeah.
It feels like we're losing the light. You can see, oh, you can really see, Lars, it's about out of the garden.
No.
Days are getting so much shorter. Summer's really coming to an end. But we thought we would just take you guys on a garden tour, especially if you were not able to be here today in person. So hopefully this was kind of the same experience. The only thing you're missing is the wonderful coffee and cookies that we served. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for coming on this garden tour here in August.
Thank you for watching. Tak for i dag. Moin.